Good morning, dear scholar.
Good morning po.
Good morning po, teacher.
Good morning, ma'am.
Po.
I ask you to let us to bow our head and feel the presence of our dear Lord for our opening prayer. May sounds po ba?
We give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. Give thanks. Sing it. We give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son, His Son. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done
Wala din kayo ako.
for us. And now
Sinisingil ko
let
kasi.
the weak say it, I am strong, oh yes. Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. Give thanks. Oh, we give you thanks.
Welcome to the TESTA online program. This is Netiquette, Basic Internet Etiquette for e-learning. Before we start with this course, let's go through the basic guidelines in e-learning. Just like in face-to-face learning, to succeed in a virtual classroom, you have to follow instructions, study hard, attend your classes, take notes, submit requirements on time, and participate in activities and discussions. Of course, all forms of dishonesty are still unacceptable and have similar consequences. At the same time, e-learning is different. We don't always get to see each other's faces, our expressions, gestures, and even hear the tone of how we speak, which are important nonverbal cues of communication. So, how do we make sure that we get to communicate and interact effectively with facilitators and learners in our e-learning classes? Well, with Netiquette. Netiquette, or Internet etiquette, is the proper and acceptable behavior in the Internet. It's how we conduct and engage in the online world. Basically, it's manners for the virtual society, and in our case, proper conduct in our e-learning courses. Here are the basic e-learning etiquette that we must observe in the duration of this course. Number 1. Be respectful. Always be respectful and considerate of your fellow netizens when communicating through email, discussion boards, chat rooms, and audio-video conferences. In addition, also be mindful of personal beliefs, backgrounds, spaces, and privacy. Number 2. Take e-learning seriously. As they say, what you put in the internet stays in the internet. Your conduct in the internet reflects who you are, and the same goes to e-learning. That's why it is important to think before you click. Always remember, review and edit before you send or post anything. Number 3. Be presentable. Present yourself properly in all the different platforms. If you will be seen or heard, wear appropriate clothes and make sure that your space is devoid of distractions such as inappropriate backgrounds and loud noises. Number 4. Read first. Read first instructions and scroll through threads before you comment. Do not ask what has already been stated. Ensure that you understand the context of what you are replying to. If you want to clarify something, make sure it hasn't been asked or said before. There might be things that you might have missed, so go through the thread or the text. If things are still not clear, then you may seek clarification. Number 5. Use proper language. When communicating online, please use proper language. Be clear and concise. Check your spelling and grammar, and avoid text speak and slang terms. Number 6. Mind your expressions. Expressing ourselves is very important. However, in the online world, there are times that we can be misinterpreted. Be careful with what you say and how you say it. Do not use caps lock. This can be considered as yelling. As mentioned earlier, use proper language. Also, avoid using emoticons, humor, and sarcasm. This may be interpreted differently. Others may not get it, and some may find it offensive. In addition, choose your words and tone down strong language. Difference in opinion can be settled through calm and courteous language and proper explanation. Number 7. Cite your sources. Ensure that you give credit when you reference something, especially when using quotes and ideas. Please practice proper citation and do not plagiarize. Number 8. Be precise. Be direct, objective, and brief with your comments. Stay on topic and avoid posting or commenting on things not connected to the subject at hand. Number 9. When providing a comment or opinion on the discussion topic, explain your stand and clarify what it means. Support your answer with proper references, but don't forget, be precise. Number 10. Identify what and whom you are referring to. In discussions, topics and comments may overlap. When you are commenting, always refer to the topic and to whom you are addressing the message or comment to. Example, "Hi Carla, regarding what you said about LO5, I agree with you. I think we can develop a rubrics for that." Number 11. Use standard fonts. Avoid fancy and stylized fonts as this can be distracting. In addition, use proper text sizes. 10 to 12 points are acceptable. Number 12. Prepare for your activities and be on time. Prepare for synchronous activities such as audio-video conferencing and scheduled discussions. Be on time. Respect the time and bandwidth of others. Number 13. Wait for your turn. During audio-video conferencing and live discussions, allow others to finish their statements. Mute your microphone when it is not your turn. Notify the facilitator if you want to speak through the chat feature and wait to be recognized. And lastly, number 14. Secure confidential information. Do not share your passwords to anyone and regularly update it. Do not send or share confidential information, most especially in informal platforms. There you go. Keep this in mind and I'm sure you'll succeed in your e-learning course. What are we waiting for? Let's start this class.
Good morning, dear scholar.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning,
Good
teacher.
Morning po.
Morning, ma'am. Good morning po.
Good morning po. Kamusta po ang mga scholars ko?
Buti na naman, ma'am.
Okay lang, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay naman po.
Yun. Ang dami ko kasing mga dito sa akin face-to-face class, may mga estudyante ako, may mga sipon. Hoping lahat naman po ay okay. Okay, so before we start with our discussion, let me first check your attendance. Sino bang mga present sa aking estudyante today? We're going to start with our batch 3. Okay, so we have Andranida, Rachel Ann. Are you here, ma'am?
Present po, ma'am.
Barsatan, Mary Jane.
Present po, ma'am.
Madarao, Charmaine.
Present po.
Clasio, Maria Francia.
Present po, ma'am.
Nakaymat, Florence.
Present po.
David Risa. Andito po ba si Ma'am David Risa?
Present po.
Bernal. Andito po ba si Bernal?
Present po.
Asan po yun si Ma'am Bernal? Ano pong pangalan niyo, ma'am?
Rosana Bernal. Jaden Clark, hinang-hiram lang ako sa ng gadget.
Bernal, Rosana.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Lising Ezekiel, are you here, sir? Habaan, Neriza.
Present, ma'am.
Harabia, Priscilla Ruth.
Present po.
Haza, Jermaine Ann.
Present po.
Juanilio Catherine.
Present po.
Ortega Joyce Ann.
Present, ma'am.
Badil Bessie.
Present po. Present po.
Baladia Chris Ann K.
Present po.
Pariliera Eliza Grace. Apiliera Eliza Grace.
Present po, ma'am. Ma'am, present po.
Kimbaw Janet.
Present po.
Carmelea. Pakimute ang mga mics ng mga King Scholar para po tayo ay magkaintindihan at hindi masaktan ng tenga. Kiros, Carmelea, are you here, ma'am? Reyes Randolph.
Ma'am, choppy ka po.
Reyes Randolph.
Present, ma'am, present.
Juanilla Charmaine. Happy po ba ako sa lahat o naririnig po ako ng clear?
Okay po, ma'am.
Choppy po.
Medyo choppy lang po.
Medyo choppy ako.
Ako tanggalin ko to.
Choppy pa ba ako?
Okay na, ma'am.
Medyo po.
Paki-check po ang internet po ninyo kasi sa akin malakas naman po yung aking internet. Malapit na kasi ako dun sa router namin dito. So pa-check po ang internet ninyo. Baka sa inyo naman po yung mahina ang internet. Paki-restart ang gadget po ninyo. Kanilang Jenny Rose.
Present po.
Solano Maria Revi.
Present po.
Yes, si Sir Solano Morris.
Present po.
Yes, next is Tolo Daryl Charlene.
Present po. Present.
Okay po. Vegas Jean Ella.
Present po.
Batch 4. Tomorrow po, hiwalay na po si Batch 3 at si Batch 4. So meaning to say si Batch 4 panghapon na. Parang sabi nila, pwede bang sabay na lang lagi? Gusto niyo po ba yun? Isang discussion na lang, magkasama na yung Batch 3 at Batch 4?
Okay lang po, ma'am.
Okay lang po. Yes po, mas okay.
Okay lang naman po.
Kung si Batch 3, kaklasihan ko ng umaga, si Batch 4, kaklasihan ko pa siya. Or gusto niya isang bagsakan na lang na
Isahan na lang po. Sana lang na po kayo mahirapan.
wow, nakakataba naman ng puso. Naging concerned sila sa akin. Joke lang. Okay, kahit ano naman po, i-ask ko po sa ating head kung pwede hanggang sa makapag-discuss ako ng course ang bagsakan na lang yung discussion natin. Okay po?
Okay
Almerol, Keiza, Almerol, Keisha Ares, Almerol Sarah Jane.
Present po.
Asan po yung isang Almerol, ma'am? Arokan Maria Cristina.
Present, ma'am.
Baldemoro Rosemary.
Present po.
Balinado Maria Cristina.
Present, ma'am.
Batukan Kichi.
Present po.
Kabik Rolando.
Present po, ma'am.
Daato Nanette.
Present po, ma'am.
Dalisay Wilma. Esparagoza Marimel. Garcia Elon. Gomez Alice.
Present po.
Ibanez Amelita.
Present po.
Izon Maria Monica. Yagas Christine.
Present po.
Lontayaw Elizabeth.
Present po.
Rosaria Maribi.
Present po.
Manalo John Patrick. Noted po, Ma'am Esparagosa. Noted ko na po na kayo ay present. Manalo John Patrick, are you here, sir? Noguera Jenny Rose.
Present, ma'am.
Rangkudo Rayan.
Present po.
Salarzon Lance. Kung hindi po gumagana yung mic, pwede na lang pong mag-message na present po kayo. San Pedro, Janine?
Present po.
Charmaine Juanilio. Opo, noted na tayo, Charmaine. Juanilio Catherine po ba yon, yung Charmaine?
Charmaine po, ma'am. Nandito din po ako, ma'am. Catherine Juanillo po.
Okay, Catherine Juanilio. Salerson, present. Parapiliera, present. San Pedro, Janine.
Present po.
Valiente, Janice.
Present, ma'am.
Mila, Arcado. Okay, so magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Then we're done with our attendance, with an etiquette. Ano po ba yung kahalagahan nun kung bakit tayo ba't ako nag-play noon? Of course, for the opening prayer, of course, for the etiquette, for you to be more knowledgeable enough, patungkol po sa kung paano tayo mag-act kapag tayo po ay nandito sa ating online class. Since nga blended po itong klase natin. Next natin, for the attendance to monitor po, kasi itong ating video, by the way guys, or by the way other scholar, ang ating pong klase is recorded. Recorded po ito sa cloud, recorded din po ito sa YouTube. So I already sent po the link sa ating GC po ng video para naman po kayo ay makakabalik. For example, ma'am, nasa biyahe po ako, bigla may emergency, pwede po ninyong balikan yung nagiging topic natin at pwede kayong makakuha doon ng mga screenshot na kung saan silalagay ninyo sa inyong collage. Sino po ito, Arcado? Okay, noted po tayo dyan. Mila Arcado. Okay, so we're going to proceed with our discussion po today. Yes po, ano po yung concern? Sino yung nagre-raise? Yes po, Ma'am Arukan, ano po ang concern?
Ma'am, bago po mag-discussion, pwede po ba ma'am malaman ma'am talaga kung sino po yung mga o-order, yung order po ng t-shirt kasi kailangan daw po ni Sir Angelito na malaman hanggang ngayon po, tanghali.
Opo, kung hindi naman po makakasagot dito,
Ma'am, kung ano na lang po yung nasa list ko, yun na lang po ang susundan ko muna, ma'am.
opo, baka po hanggang oras daw po ba yun para at least kami makahabol pa po.
Ayun nga ma'am, basta sabi po niya hanggang tanghali kasi po yung batch 3 daw po, nagbigay na daw po ng list. Kaya yun po yung inaano niya.
Sige ma'am, mag-ano na lang po, usap na lang po siguro sa GC. Ano po?
Sige ma'am.
Tanghali daw po. Tapos, hindi po ba gumana yung binigay kong link para po sa GC ng collage at saka po ng video?
Ma'am, meron. Meron na ma'am.
Ma'am, on my
Doon po ako
end,
nag-connect,
hindi po
ma'am.
gumagana. Parang naka-Facebook user po na pupunta.
Ma'am, talaga po papunta po. Facebook po kasi yun, ma'am. Messenger po
Opo,
yun,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Hindi po kasi naglo-load po sa akin. Parang unknown po.
Baka po kailangan niyo po ulit mag-login, ma'am. Opo. Or kaya i-restart
Sige po,
po
try
yung
ko po.
gadget niyo po. Ano po ba pangalan niyo sa Messenger para may add ko na lang po? Kasi hindi ko po
Eliza Grace Papiliera po.
Okay, tignan ko po kung ma-add ko na lang po kayo later. Yes
Thank you
po, Sir
po.
Randolph. Ano ang concern?
Ma'am, wala ako sa video. Collage lang ako. GC meron.
I-add ka na lang po. Anong batch ka po ba?
Batch 3, ma'am.
Opo, kasi nandun na din po yung link. Paki-double check po kung gumagana po yung link. Opo.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other concern? Wala na po? Let's move on po.
Din po dun sa GC po, sa collage po. And
Opo, sige po. I-add na lang po kayo. Kasi may binigay na po na link doon para at least kung hindi kayo naka-add, pwede naman po natin kayong Rosana Bernal. Just wait, ma'am. Ma'am Bernal. I-double check ko ha. I-message na lang po kita. Kasi po, maubos yung time natin dito sa Zoom. Kung verify po pa yung kung anong batch kayo. I-message na lang po kayo after ng class natin. Kung ano po yung batches po ninyo. Okay po ba yun? Yes po, Ma'am Sangilan, Jenny.
Ma'am, after po ba ng discussion po na to, na po sa college po ba? Or after na po ng namin na to?
Pwede naman na po kayo magpasa ng collage picture po ninyo sa ating GC ng collage. Or pwede naman po ninyo siyang ipunin kung saan po kayo mas komportable. Yung iba po kasi ang ginagawa kada matatapos po, diretso na po sila ng pagsisend para wala na raw po silang iniintindi. Opo mga dear, i-add po kayo sa GC ng ating collage at ating video. Pakihintay na lang po. Ano po? Pwede na po ba si ma'am mag-discuss?
Yes po.
Yes po, ma'am.
Po, kasi maubos yung time natin. Lalo na po yung iba na nakadata lang. Kawawa naman po. So mag-start na tayo sa discussion natin. At the same time po, i-add na lang po kayo later po kung hindi gumagana yung link given sa inyo. Okay po, wait po. Po. Ha? Mamaya na, magkaklase mo nga.
Ipag-partner tayo.
Neka muna. Nagdi-discuss ako. Mamaya tayo mag-usap. Nakikita po bang sinishare ni ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so dito na po tayo sa Okay, mag-stop lang ako ng aking close ko lang yung aking cam. Mag-ano lang ako ng mic kasi nga baka humihina yung internet. So close lang ako ng mic, ng aking cam. Naririnig po ba si Ma'am Jobel?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes po.
Okay, so yung mga concern po natin with regards sa pag-add sa GC ng collage, later po i-add ko na lang po kayo. So let's focus on our discussion for the participate in workplace communication. The first one is we have to pay attention to nonverbal signal. The way you look, listen, move, and act and react to other person tells them more about how you're feeling than words alone ever can. Nonverbal communication or body language include facial expression, body movement and gesture, eye contact, posture, the tone of your voice, and even your muscle tension and breath. So, ibig sabihin, non-verbal. Yung hirap kang huminga, yung parang, alam niyo po yung hindi ka makagalaw ng komportable. So, using that, naipaparamdam mo sa kasama mo sa isang lugar o naipaparamdam mo dun sa kasama mo sa isang area, sa kausap mo na naiirita ka, naiinis ka, let's move on to another place. Okay, so next natin for the facial expression. Nakasimangot ka, nakangiti ka, sa iba yung tingin ng mata mo. So doon pa lang lumalabas na po yung emosyon mo sa facial expression expression mo. Naiintindihan po ba? Your body movement. Kung paano ka gumalaw, paano ka umupo, it tells something about sa nararamdaman mo, sa gusto mong iparating sa kasama mo doon sa isang area. Naintindihan po ba?
Yes po.
Okay.
Opo, ma'am.
Be aware of the individual differences. Lahat po tayo ay may kanya-kanyang pinagkaiba-iba. Hindi ko pwedeng sabihin na kapatid ko si Cathy, kapatid ko si Rosa, pare-parehas ba kami ng ugali? Hindi po. Kahit ba may kakambal ako, magkataliwas o magkaiba kami ng ugali, ng magiging kaibigan, ng pananaw sa buhay. Kasi we are, di ba, different in our own way, in our own manner. Okay, look at nonverbal communication signal as a group. Don't read too much into a single gesture or nonverbal cue. Consider all of the nonverbal signal you receive from eye contact to tone of voice. Tinawagan kita, pero ang boses mo ay parang hirap magsalita. So, pwede mong itanong na, ano ang problema? Sabihin natin, kunyari, tinawagan ko, tumawag sa akin si Ma'am Tina, sabi ni Ma'am Tina, Jubel, may problema po tayo. So, ang tanong ko, ano ang problema, Ma'am Tina? Meron po tayong mga delivery na expired. So, ano ang ginawa mong step? Nung na-deliver yan, hindi mo ba yan kinontak sa purchasing department? Bakit nag-receive sila ng expired goods? Sumagot po ang purchasing department. Sabi nila, is nung dineliver daw po yan, hindi naman daw po expired yung nakita nila. So that seems to be the big problem, right? Kasi parang, bakit dineliver sa atin yan, expired, tapos sabi ni purchasing, hindi naman daw yan yung nireceive nila. Maaaring there's something wrong. Maaaring may nagpalit ng goods. Maaaring mayroong inside job dun sa tindahan ninyo. Naiintindihan po. So through that, through the tone of voice, naipapakita natin na there's something wrong. Kapag ka naman masaya, tumawag naman po sa akin, sabi natin si Ma'am Maria, sabi niya, Ma'am Jubel, good news po from from our big boss. Magkakaroon na daw po tayo ng increase for about 50% of our salary. So that sabihin natin is, good job yan, great news. Kasi parang 50% of our salary ang i-increase sa atin. Kung 500 tayo, more or less 750 na yung magiging sahod natin per di ba? Bihin natin over our 750, hindi na masama. So that is a great news. So doon pa lang sa tone of voice, na ipaparamdam na natin, kahit magkausap lang tayo sa telepono, na ipararamdam natin kung tayo ay masaya, masigla, tayo ay may malungkot o may problema. Clear? Maliwanag po ito?
Yes po.
Okay, so next natin. Improve how you deliver nonverbal communication. Use nonverbal signals that match up with your words rather than contradict them. If you say one thing but your body language says something else, your listener will feel confused or suspect that you are being dishonest. Sinasabi mo na, tinatanong kita, sasama ka ba? Sige na nga. So through that, napilitan ka lang sumama. Through that, yung gesture, how do you pronounce the words, doon po yun lumalabas. Nararamdaman na, hindi, napilitan ka lang yata, sige, huwag ka na lang sumama. So, kung minsan na-experience natin yan, tama po ba? Kasi mahirap namang pilitin yung tao kung ayaw niya. Kaya naman sabihin natin, lilipat ka na daw ng department. Pwedeng sagot sa'yo is, bakit? Anong ginawa ko? So, ibig sabihin, dun sa pagsasalita niya na yun, nararamdam niya na ayaw ko. Bakit? Naintindihan? Adjust your nonverbal signal according to context. The tone of your voice, for example, should be different when you're addressing a child than you are addressing a group of adults. Paano ka makipag-usap sa bata? Hindi mo po pwedeng kausapin ng bata kung paano mo kausapin yung matatanda. Bakit kaya? Yes, Ma'am Tina, bakit kaya? Anyone? Kung wala pong si Ma'am Tina dito, anyone po, bakit kaya na iba yung pakikipag-usap sa bata sa pakikipag-usap sa matanda? Ano kaya yung dahilan? Yes po, Ma'am Priscilla Haraban.
Kasi po ma'am, different po yung tao na kinakausap natin. So, different din po dapat yung approach natin dahil iba po yung grasp nila ng understanding.
Tama po. Iba yung lawak ng pananaw, lawak ng pag-intindi ng bata sa pag-intindi ng matanda. Kaya minsan, di ba, you keep on giving instruction, right? I'm giving instruction. So minsan sinasabi natin, para ka namang bata, naintindihan mo ba yung binibigay kong instruction? Ilang taon ka na? Usually, di ba, may naririnigan tayo na matandang ganyan ang sinasabi sa kausap. Ang tanda mo na, para ka pang bata, hindi makasunod sa instruction ko. So kung minsan nasasabihin, daig ka pa ng grade 1, kung grade 1 kayang sundin yung instruction ko, ikaw? So kung minsan, nakakasakit yun sa mga, sabihin na lang natin, is balat sibuyas. Pero, kung iintindihin mo na, bakit niya kaya sinabi to? Maybe there is a big reason. Maybe there is a big question. Tanungin mo sarili mo, bakit niya sinabi na daig pa ako ng grade 1? So simple arithmetic, minsan sinasabi ng matatanda, simple arithmetic, you cannot understand. So, ibig sabihin, di ba yung may mga lola pa dyan, ganyan yung minsan naririnig nyo? May naka-experience, meron po bang naka-experience niyan sa inyo? Minsan sabihin, simple arithmetic lang, hindi pa kayang sundin. Meron ba? Yung totoo. Sabi nila, nahiya po.
Papa ko.
Yes, ma'am, meron.
Meron, di ba? Kahit sabihin
Usually
natin,
yung iba mga
Meron po.
minsan, ay admit natin eh. Sabihin natin, sige na nga, ano ba yung mali ko? Minsan sabihin natin, ito pala yung mali ko, simple lang pala. Kasi minsan sa dami ng ginagawa natin, tambak yung trabaho natin, lalo na yung may mga mamis na dyan, minsan may nakakalimutan tayo, minsan nagra-rumble yung tinatrabaho natin. So sabi ng iba, we need to write it down what would be the task that we're going to do, isa-isa, una-una, para hindi tayo magkamali. Or kung hindi mo naman kayang gawin po ng yung tinatawag na multitasking, wag mong gawin. Avoid doing multitasking kung hindi mo naman kaya. Kasi mahirap po mag-multitasking kung ang trabaho mo is nagluluto, nag-aalaga ng bata, naglalaba. Sabihin natin, pag-aalaga ng bata, ilagay mo lang sa crib yan, okay na. E paano kung yung bata ay naglululundag at nagka-climb na siya doon sa kanyang kuna? Nandyan yung minsan mabukulan. Tama? So I'm citing example na related sa mga nangyayari sa atin. So it will easily be understood by my trainee. Naintindihan po? Kasi ang hirap naman magbigay ako ng example. Tapos sabi niyo, ano ba yung binibigay ni ma'am? Hindi ko naintindihan. So sometimes I give instruction, I cite examples na yung usual nangyayari sa araw-araw na buhay natin. Okay? So avoid negative body language. So instead, use body language to convey positive feelings even when you're not actually experiencing them. If you're nervous about a situation, a job interview, important presentation, or a first date, for example, you can use positive body language to signal confidence even though you're not feeling it. Di ba usually mayroong mga sinasabi, adya. So though sometimes yung mga sinasabi natin mga body language, kaya ko to. So, yun yung mga positive body language natin sa sarili natin or sa mga nakakausap natin. Sabihin ng nanay mo, anak, kaya mo yan. Mami, kayang-kaya ko to, adya lang. So, ibig sabihin, sabihin natin mataas ang fighting spirit, always positive ka lang, para lahat tayo kasi dumadaan sa nervyos, di ba? So, kung ako ay nininervyos, hanap ka lang ng pamamaraan kung paano mo malalabanan yung nervyos in a positive way. Okay, let's move on po. Scholar, wala pa po akong binibigay pala na sasagutan. Ngayon pa lang, self-check 1.1, effective communication. Let's look on what would be the topic on this self-check. What would be the exam? Ano kaya yung nasa loob nitong exam na to? So, this is a true or false. Let's open the exam. So, ang sabi, it's important to try sending negative signals. Ano ang sagot kaya natin dyan?
False.
And that's
False.
false. Tingnan natin na.
False po, ma'am.
False, ma'am. False po.
Sulat nyo na yung sagot kasi mamaya magsasagot kayo, i-give ko to. So what would be the answer? Tignan natin ha. Continue. This is how many question? 10 question. The answer would be false. Let's look. Kung magsasagot siya. Oh. Number 2 question. Being assertive means expressing your thoughts, feelings, and needs in an open and honest way while standing up for you and respecting others. So is it true or false?
True. 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 True po, ma'am.
Effective communication is about more than just exchanging information. Ulit, effective communication is about more than just exchanging information.
True.
True. True.
Non-verbal communication should not reinforce what is being said and contradict it. So ano raw po ito?
False. False po.
False.
Next natin. To communicate effectively, you need to avoid distraction and stay focused.
True.
False.
True.
True po.
Meron po. Next natin. You can communicate effectively when you're multitasking.
True.
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 Effective communication is always about winning an argument or forcing your opinion on others.
False.
False.
False. False. False.
Effective communication is less about talking and more about listening.
True.
True.
To communicate effectively, you need to avoid distraction and stay focused.
True.
True. True.
The way you look, listen, move, and react to other person can tell how you feel.
True.
True.
False.
Tingnan natin ha. O, end quiz tayo. Tingnan po natin kung ano yung mga sagot. Finish. So, for number 1, the answer would be false. That is correct. For number 2, the answer is true. Correct. So pakisulat, screenshot na kasi sasagot nyo ito mamaya dito sa self-check 1.1 effective communication. Number 3, true. 4, false. 5, true. 6, true. 7, false. 8, true. 9, true. 10, false. Sino po ang nakasagot sa inyo ng correct, ng naka-points ng 10?
Ma'am, yung 10 po, ano po yun? False? Or true?
False.
Yes, ma'am. False po yung 10.
Sabi dito, ako daw po ay 9/10. Teka, tignan natin ha. Why?
Number
1
10.
false. True. True. Number 4 is false. 5 is true. 6 is true. 7 is false. 8 is true. 9 is true. 10 is true. The way you look, listen, move, and react to other person can tell how you feel. Di ba yung kanina pinaliwanag ko, may papaliwanag mo na ikaw ay malungkot, na ikaw ay na may problema, sa gesture mo sa pagsasalita. May kusap ako, katulad ng example ko, sabi ni Ma'am Tina, Jubel, may problema po tayo, nag-deliver po sa atin ng mga expired goods. So, ibig sabihin, doon pa lang sa pakikinig ko, sa tone ng voice, may paramdam na sa akin na may problema. Naintindihan? Clear pa sa atin ito?
Yes, ma'am. Yes po.
Yes po.
Yes po.
Okay. So ito po yung effective communication. I-give ko po siya. Okay? Ang deadline po niyan is kailan? So ngayon po ay August 12, most probably po, ang deadline natin would be 15. Question po, do you have any question with regards sa participate in workplace communication?
Yes po.
Different mode of communication po tayo. Puntahan po natin ng mode of communication. Ano ba yung mga modes? So, mode is term used to describe the way something is done or experienced. When we use the phrase mode of communication, we are describing the way communication is expressed. In other words, we are discussing the method of communication. There are 3 modes of communication. Yung tatlong mode is interpersonal communication, interpretive communication, and representational communication. Ano po raw ba ang interpersonal? The interpersonal communication is a two-way means of communication that allows the participant to evaluate and respond to each other. For example, the two persons who are speaking and listening to each other, either in face-to-face conversation or over the phone, are participating in interpersonal. Ganito po yung interpersonal. Kinakausap ko kayo, nagre-response kayo, that is interpersonal. Maintindihan ko. Pagkausap kami ni ma'am, sabihin natin, kausap po kami ni Kabayan Noli Di Castro, magkaharapan kami. Ang tanong ko, interpersonal communication ba yon o hindi?
Yes po.
Yes, that is
Yes po.
interpersonal.
Opo.
Okay, tinawagan po ako ng anak ko sa cellphone. Mami, anong oras ka uuwi? So is that an interpersonal communication or not?
Yes po.
Yes.
That is
Interpersonal.
interpersonal.
Yes po.
Yes. Clear tayo dito ha, scholars. Next, the key characteristic of interpersonal communication is that it involves spontaneous exchange of information. So, kapag may sinabi ako, may sagot siya, may sasabihin na naman ako. Kumbaga, yung pag-uusap natin, yung sinasawag natin, nakakapagkwentuhan tayo, humahaba. Kuminsan nga ang sabi ay hindi na natin namamalaya ng oras. Okay? So, much research has been done to try. Pakipatay po, Ma'am Alice, ang mic. Salamat po. Much research had been done to try to break down interpersonal communication into a number of elements in order that it can be more easily understood. Commonly, these elements include the communicator. Who is the communicator? For any communication to occur, there must be at least two people involved. It is easy to think about communication involving a sender and a receiver. I am the sender and you, my scholar, is the receiver. Clear? The communicator, I am the sender, I'm your trainer, I am the sender of the information while we are having discussion. Sino ang nakakarinig ko? Francia Clasio, paki-mute. Okay. So, again, for the communicator, I am the one who are sending information to you, and you as my scholar is the receiver. Clear?
Yes po.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, next would be the message. Message not only means the speech used or information conveyed, but also the nonverbal message exchange, such as facial expression, tone of voice, the gesture, and the body language. Nonverbal behavior can convey additional information about the spoken message. In particular, it can reveal more about the emotional attitude, which may underline the content of speech. Sinabi mo na, nakakatuwa naman yung nangyari sa nakita ko. We got a big hit sa pagbebenta natin ng cupcake. So, ibig sabihin, dun sa mukha nung nagsasalita, sabi niya dun sa kanya, kaya nagre-report po yung waiter doon sa may-ari. Ma'am, we got a big hit. Naubos lahat nung tinitinda natin ng mga cupcake. It was so, sabihin natin, great and fun having at that venue, ma'am. Sabing ganyan. So, doon pa lang naipapakita mo kasi nga tuwang-tuwa siya, naubos yung daladala niya ng mga product, tapos nakilala kayo ng mga sikat na mga artist. So, doon pa lang sa mukha niya, sa gesture, hindi yung mukha niya itself ha, how is the emotion of of the person who are talking, who are sending the information, na ipaparamdam mo, na ipapakita mo yung mensahe, whether ito ay positive or negative. Clear? Hoping lahat nakikinig ha. We are 44 in a class, okay? So next natin, for the noise. The noise has a special meaning in communication theory. It refers to anything that distorts the message, so that what is received is different from what is intended by the speaker. Okay, visual physical noise, for example, background sounds or the low-flying jet plane. Nagsasalita ako tapos may nagja-jackhammer sa likod ko. So do you think guys, maintindihan niyo yung pinag-uusapan natin?
Hindi
so
po.
syempre,
Ma'am.
yun yung pinag-uusapan. Whether gaano kagaling yung speaker, whether sabihin natin yung nagsasalita dito, nakakantok, yung nagsasalita dito, belly jolly. hindi kayo magkakaintindihan, hindi nyo siya ma-appreciate because of the surroundings. May kumakahol na aso, may nangangaroling, mayroong mga dumadaan na jeep. So, yun yung background sound ko or meron akong sound sa likod. Sabi natin, ma'am, di ka naman news anchor, ba't kailangan meron kang background sound? Hindi naman clear ko ano yung naririnig namin sa sinasabi mo. So, yun yung noise na pinag-uusapan natin. Okay? Let's move on to the feedback. Ano po kaya ang feedback? The feedback consists of the message the receiver returns, which allow the sender to know how accurately the message had been received. So nag-report ako, ma'am, ang saya-saya po kasi naubos yung, talaga sabi mo, ang saya-saya po. Nakakatuwa po kasi naubos lahat ng product natin, and then invited po ulit tayo for the next, sabihin natin, event po nung company nila. And then we've been known for, or we've been introduced to other high-ended personnel. So, ang feedback mo, feedback sa'yo is that was a great opportunity for our restaurant. So, ibig sabihin, yung feedback mo is maganda rin. Meron po bang nangyari na pangit yung feedback, pero maganda yung naging, pangit yung message, pero maganda yung feedback? Meron bang ganon?
Parang wala naman.
Wala po, ma'am.
Wala, di ba? Once ang message mo is negative, ang feedback din nun kuminsan is nagiging negative din. Whether magagalit siya, whether maaaring magwala itong kausap mo. Di ba? Pwedeng sabihin, ma'am, naransak po yung Villanueva Bake Shop. Or kaya, ma'am, nasunog po yung Villanueva Bake Shop. So it means, guys, tandaan ha, it means nag-message ka na susunog po yung bakery ninyo, ma'am. So, ang feedback mo ba nun? Ay, ang saya-saya. Hindi, di ba? Ang feedback mo, anong ginawa nyo? Tinawagan nyo ba yung mga, sabi natin, fire department, may naisalba ba? So, ibig sabihin, may taranta, may galit, may inis, ano ang nangyari? So, mixed emotion na yung naipipeedback mo. Naintindihan po? Clear po ba tayo sa pinag-uusapan, dear scholar?
Yes po.
Pakisabihan po si Ma'am Jobel kung mabilis. Ma'am, nalilito po ako. Baka pwede pong dahan-dahan lang po pag nagsasalita. Minsan po kasi mabilis ako magsalita. Pakisabihan lang po ang teacher. Ano po?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next natin, we have here the channel. The channel refers to the physical means by which the message is transferred from one person to another. So the channel is the face-to-face. The channel would be using telephone, paano ba yung channel na ginamit natin? Nag-Zoom ba tayo? Yung speech ko ba? Maayos pa? So, yung pagkikipag-usap ko po ba sa inyo through telephone is clear yung linya natin? Baka naman, mami, ang ngongo pala yung dating ko. So, hindi mo rin naintindihan kung ano yung dinidiscuss ko. Clear, trainee?
Opo.
Clear, ma'am. Clear po.
Okay, so we're done with the, what do you call this one? The interpersonal communication. So, puntahan naman natin ang interpretive. The interpretive communication, okay, gives learner opportunities to listen, to read, or view authentic materials. Learners demonstrate understanding of these materials in two levels. We have the literal and interpretive. At the literal level, learners demonstrate that they can understand the surface meaning of the text. At the interpretive level, learners read between the lines to demonstrate that they can use their background knowledge and cultural understanding to provide a more complete interpretation of the message. The presentational communication. Presentational communication is another type of one-way communication, which this mode communication, an individual is speaking to an audience or presenting a presentation in writing and has no other means of engaging with audience. Presentational, mga editorial. Naintindihan po, ito naman nagde-demonstrate kayo dito sa interpretive. So, ibig sabihin, para ka nagdi-discussion dito sa interpretive, you are interpreting. Kunyari, ibalita mo ngayon, ano ba ang naging sales natin? On January po, for 1 year. For January po, medyo may loss po tayo ng 16%. Thank you, Ma'am Alice. Pakimute ang mic. Salamat po. For interpretive, you are interpreting the graph, the pie graph. You are discussing it the board meeting na tumaas po, bumaba po ang sales natin for this month ng 10%. So that is the interpretive. For the presentational communication, you are presenting something into writing. Okay? 3 modes of communication. Ito na po yan ay the interpersonal, the interpretive presentation. So ito po siya. Question so far? So we have here the second quiz, which would be given. No. Different mode of communication, given po ito sa inyo. Dalawa na po yung sasagutan ninyo, which is self-check 1.2. Different mode of this is 5 items. Watching a short news clip and determining its meaning. Is this a presentational, interpretive, or interpersonal? Watching a short film. Ano po kaya po?
Presentational.
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 Okay.
Interpretive po.
O, tingnan natin ang presentational. Next. What are the 3 modes of communication? Personal, presentational, or conventional? Interpretive, conventional, and interpersonal? Or interpersonal, interpretive, and presentational?
Interpersonal, interpretive, and presentation.
Interpersonal
option po.
Presentational. Yung pangatlo.
Yung third. Okay, so next. Answer a question to a teacher post. Answering a question to a teacher poses, interpersonal, interpretive, or presentational? Ay, sorry po. Pagsagot niyo po dun sa post ko sa message, ito po daw ay presentational, interpretive, or interpersonal?
Interpersonal.
Third, ma'am.
Next natin. What does the word mode means in the phrase mode of communication? A new type of things that was taken from something else, or how something is done or experienced, or a new fashion?
Yung second po.
What is an example of interpersonal communication? Writing a book for someone or a specific audience, giving a speech, or having a conversation with someone else.
Third.
Having a
Third.
conversation.
Third
Third.
option po. Having a conversation with someone.
Okay. Number 1, we answer presentational. For the number 2, we answer interpersonal. Interpersonal, interpretive, presentational. Then for number 3, we answer interpersonal. For number 4, how something is done or experienced. Next is having a conversation with someone else. Okay, let's check po. Let's check. Okay, for number 1, the answer would be presentational. Watching a short news clip and determining its meaning. That is a presentational.
Ma'am, yung correct answer po yata, interpretive.
Asaan? Response natin
Number
ay
1 po.
presentational.
Number 1, correct
Ay,
answer.
What is the answer? Interpretive.
Apo.
For number 2. Number 2, the answer is interpersonal, interpretive, and presentational. Next po, for number 3, answering question of teacher post. What would be the answer? Interpersonal. That is not, the correct answer is presentational. Nakukuha po ba? Na-screenshot niyo na ba? Tinatanong ni ma'am.
Opo, ma'am.
Okay, what does the word mode means in the phrase mode of communication? How something is done or experienced.
I'm not going to give you apple juice. I have apple juice. Please.
Next, number 5, what is an example of interpersonal communication? Having a conversation with someone else. Clear? Do you have any questions?
Clear, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Your scholar.
Clear, ma'am.
Clear po? Nakuha na po?
Yes po. Clear po.
Okay. May tanong po ako, nakapagsagot na po ba kayo dun sa describe yourself? Describe yung kung sa orientation, yung tinatanong ko sa inyo kahapon.
Yes, ma'am.
Self-introduction. Wala pa yatang nakasagot dito sa self-introduction.
Sabihin mo, nagsagot ka na. Nagsagot po.
Sabi nila, ma'am, hindi mo pa po siya ginigib. Paano ko po sasagutan? O, self-introduction, ano po? 3 po yung gagawin ninyo today for your asynchronous. Self-introduction. Then naka-give na po ang effective communication and then different mode of communication. So do you have any question po?
Wala
Wala na po. Okay, tomorrow po we're going to discuss the basic 2, 3, and 4. The work in a team environment, practice career professionalism, and practice occupational health and safety. Do you have any question po, dear scholar? Okay po, so we still have time. So let's discuss first the unang topic natin dito sa work in a team environment. Usapan po natin ang learning outcome nito. So, for the learning outcome 1, describe team role and scope. So, the role and objective of this team is identified from an available source of information, team parameter, reporting relationship. Ma'am Riza David, pakimute naman ang mic. Salamat po. So, nasabayan niyo po kasi ako, hindi po kami magkaintindihan.
Sorry, ma'am, sorry.
Okay, salamat po. Okay, for the assessment criteria natin, the role and objective of the team is identified from available source of information, team parameter, reporting relationship, and responsibility are identified from team discussion and appropriate external source. So, sabi natin dito, kayo daw po ay ini-evaluate through written test and oral questioning. So, pumapasok na nga po sa oral questioning. Kuminsan is I keep on asking question to you. Next natin for the learning outcome 1, we have here the team source. So, sabi po dito is kailangan ninyong basahin ang CBLM. Yung wala naman po ang CBLM, nakikita po ito kapag nagpe-face-to-face tayo. What do we mean by CBLM? Curriculum-based learning materials po. So, since nga tayo ay blended, yung lahat ng topic po natin ay nakapasok dito sa NEO LMS. Okay, so pagkabasa mo daw ng team structure, you need to answer the subject 1-1. Then you need to compare your answer to the answer key. So, syempre, i-go mo yon, i-finish mo yon, so doon lalabas ko kung ano ang score mo. Next is you are free to ask question if you have encountered problems. So, yan naman lagi ko sinasabi, feel to ask question whenever you have any question. Okay, answer subject 1-2 and compare your answer to N key. Refer your answer to the answer key for the subject. So, ano ba yung pag-uusapan sa work in a team environment? Pag-uusapan natin yung how do you work in a team, ano ba yung organizational chart. So, syempre, kayo po kasi under ng step. So, ibig sabihin, pag step, magbe-business. So, hindi naman po sinabi na pag nag-business ka, ikaw lang. May time na magkakaroon ka ng mga tauhan. Okay? Do you have any question, dear scholar?
Wala po.
Wala po, ma'am.
So, mag-end na po ako ng aking slide na aking dinidiscuss. So, can we or may we open our cam to have the picture taking para at least, yes. Ayan. So, we are photo ops, ano? Photo ops tayo. Ma'am Tina, against the light po. Medyo blurred ka. Ayan. Ayan po. So, okay, 1, 2, 3, smile po. 1, 2, 3. Ayan. Okay, next slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, next slide natin, meron pa po ba? Wala na. Okay. Again, 1, 2, 3. Smile po. 1, 2, 3. Smile. And po. So before we end our class, I need to ask something. What have you learned? Yes, Ma'am Maria, Revi, may ano bang natutunan? Kahit isang words lang. Meron bang natutunan sa akin for today, class? Kahit isang sentence lang.
Non-verbal communication is just as important as verbal communication.
Yes, thank you so much po. Yes po, may ask naman po, Sir Kabig, have you learned something about, or may natutunan po ba para sa araw na ito? Saan si Sir Kabig? Nandito po ba? Ay. Nawalaan na si Sir Rolando. Okay po, so I'm going to ask someone na lang po. Sir Randot, may natutunan po ba for today, class? Nawala yung aking mga training. Ma'am Neriza Habaan.
Yes, Ma'am, naririnig po ako?
Opo, sige po Sir Rolando. Ano pang natutunan for today?
Ma'am, yung ano po, para sa akin po yung effective communication sa workplace.
Okay po.
Kasi hindi naman po talaga is lahat pare-pareho po. So, may iba-iba tayong ugali. Ang importante po doon is yung respeto. Respeto po sa isa't isa.
Okay po.
Kaya nga po, siguro kung gusto mong respeto kanila, matuto din po muna tayo silang respetuhin. And then, isa rin po sa ano po yung non-verbal communication po. So kapag halimbawa siguro kapag nakikipag-usap tayo sa ibang tao, iwasan po natin yung mga negative gestures. Halimbawa po yung pag-cross ng arms, parang ganon.
Opo, yung parang nakaganito, para kang...
Yung importante rin po yung eye-to-eye contact. Importante rin po yun. Yun lamang po. Thank you po, ma'am.
Okay, maraming salamat po, Sir Rolando.
Thank you po.
Okay po. Yes po, meron pa po bang additional sa gustong i-share sa natutunan po? Sabi po ni Ma'am Mary Jane, may sinasabi siya, non-verbal communication can express your feelings or attitude, right? Opo, maraming salamat po pala para sa araw na ito. So, tama na po yung tatlo na nag-share po ng kanilang natutunan today. So, hope to see you all again tomorrow. So, hiwalay na po ba tayo? Tatanungin ko po. Then, kapag isa lang ang binigay kong link, makita nyo batch 3 and batch 4. Makikita nyo naman po yun doon. Ibig sabihin, combine pa rin tayo. Isang discussion lang po para sa dalawang batch. Kasi isa lang naman po yung topic ni Ma'am Jubel para sa parehas po na estudyante ko. Naintindihan po? Question? Wala na po ba?
Wala na, ma'am.
Sa t-shirt daw po, pakisuot na lang daw po sa batch 4. Then with regards naman po dun sa iaad ko, pakiintay na lang po ano. So maraming salamat para sa araw na ito. Permission to leave. Bye-bye po. Happy eating.
Thank you po.
Bye-bye po.
Happy weekend po.
Thank you po.